Hi, it's Bumbleberry, and we are back for the last episode of Monochrome in Colors. It's chapter 5, and we have all our little dolls. Let's start. It's our first game. Here we go. I'm back again, aren't I? This isn't a memory anymore, is it? Because if it is, I don't know how much more I can take of it. Mr. Jin is right. Memories are like papers lost at sea. My memory is now so salty and weighted that I'm surprised my head isn't bent out of shape. Isn't it pathetic? Turns out I knew none of the people that I thought I did. I thought I knew Tom well enough, but although he means well, he had crossed the line by erasing my memory without permission. He says he trusted me with all his heart, but it turns out he can't even trust me to deal with something that I had created myself. Mr. Jin seems likable enough, but if there's one thing I figured out from the things that happened to me, it's that first and foremost, he is a businessman. Seems to operate on a totally different plane. I don't even know what he wants. And Roland. I don't even know what to say about him. The world has wronged him, me included. All the things that have happened to him turned him into a monster. His soft soul has died a long time ago, and I no longer recognize him. In the end, there's only Leroy who is a clean page. But I really don't feel too optimistic about our use and be used relationship right now. I've used Leroy enough, and I really don't have the right to approach him anymore. Well, that was a pretty accurate analysis right there, Claude. I know you are probably sick of stories of me today, but I hope you wouldn't mind one more tale. This time, it will be a story about me. Go ahead, I might as well hear it. Splendid! 800 years ago, I lived in a small Asiatic village long forgotten by history. Jin was my surname, and I no longer remember what my full name was. At that time, I had a wife, 3 young children, and worked at the village as a letter writer for a living. It was an unextraordinary life, and I knew that I was more or less stuck for my entire life, but I was content with the situation, more or less. I got a family. Then, one day, without warning, a group of bandits came and rampaged the whole village. I was the single survivor of the incident because I went to visit the city for a letter delivery. When I came home expecting to find my wife nagging and my children giggling, what I was greeted with was blood-red silence. As I sat lifelessly near the dead bodies of my family, a strange woman suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I assumed that she was the devil because she offered me the devil's bargain. Become my apprentice, and I will make all your wishes come true. You will be able to bring back your loved ones and have eternal life. You will be able to see the outside world and be free of the burden of mortals. You will be the Lord of Time. Yay! Like Doctor Who! And like he can fix Chanya's thing. I had nothing to lose at the time, so I agreed. As soon as I became her apprentice, I found that natural laws did not apply to me anymore. I stopped aging, I did not need food or air to survive, and sleeping became merely a habit. I observed time from the audience seat, watching the past and the future happen simultaneously. During the last 800 years, I was axed in the back of the head, ran over by a stray horse, chopped into little bits, then thrown in the sea. And yet I remain. Oh my gosh, that picture is kind of freaky. As it always is with the devil's bargain, the strange woman did not tell me the whole story of what I agreed to. The minute I agreed to become her apprentice, I ceased to exist in human history. When I walked into my own house, my neighbor for 5 years asked politely who I was. Since I didn't exist, my wife did not meet me at the destined time and therefore did not come to live in the ransacked village. The children we had together, my wife had with someone else. It wasn't a pleasant experience seeing your life owned by someone else. The situation, however, seems particularly useful to you now. If you did not exist in the human timeline, then Roland would be gone, the mayhem he has caused and the disaster he is about to cause would cease to exist. Here is my final proposal. Become my apprentice and the next Lord of Time, and the little problem of Roland would be gone forever. And what do you get in exchange? I get to die. I have had enough of being a Lord of Time. The job started out interesting enough. I got to watch all sorts of strange things like Alexander the Great, Cleopatra picking her nose, and George Washington picking out a wig. However, I am tired. 800 years is a long time to live, and I literally forgot the meaning of my existence. After a long journey, I am ready to take a long rest. Why would you take Roland as your apprentice for 10 years, then? Here's the catch. Before the Lord of Time can die, he needs to find a successor. And here's where you come along. You've been planning this from the beginning, haven't you? Starting from the very beginning 10 years ago when I walked into your shop for the first time. That is correct. You have immense potential, Claude. It's not like every century there comes along a little girl who has the gift to make imagination into reality. So what do you say? Want to be my apprentice and learn how to become the almighty Lord of Time? No. First of all, because that's not the right thing to do, for sure. But second of all, because in all caps, Amarilo has put in the description, I suggest you play Mr. Jin last. Okay, so, no. I don't think disappearing is the right way to solve things. Speaking of problems, can you do me a favor? Depends on the price you pay. Oh, who do I want to find? Am I supposed to do them in order? Because I want to do... Wrong choice of words. I want to do Roland first. I need to go see Roland. Do you know where I can find him? If you're going to try to persuade him to turn back the sweet thing named Arnold you once knew, I'm afraid you're 10 years too late, my dear. It doesn't matter. Where can I find him? I have something I need to tell him. 30 minutes later in an old playground. Oh, Roland! Oh. Hi. See how beautiful this is compared to, like, the first scene? It's beautiful. I'm here, Roland. You know everything now, don't you? What a pathetic thing I was, prancing around trying to be human. You're probably wondering how dare I talk to you again. Now you're probably here to beg for your sweetheart. Who is it? I'm betting Leroy, but if it is Tom, oh... Never mind who the person is, because the answer is no. Whoever dares touches you, I will rip off their dirty hands if it's the last thing I... What? You've got it all wrong from the beginning. There was never anybody else. You didn't need to become a prince with red hair and green eyes. You never had to do anything. You just had to be there. Let's go home, Roland. Oh my gosh, but I want to be able to see colors again. Yes, Roland is no longer the person I remember. His smile now has a shadow, his eyes have a wild gleam. His hands are stained with blood. Time has twisted him into a monster worthy of any children's nightmare. But then all the things he did it all for me. Oh, baby Arnold and Claude, because he thought it would make us stay together. Crayon drawing, raging monster, shards of the past. Whatever he is, it doesn't matter anymore. If I have to defy all reason and logic to be with him, then so be it. I will never leave him alone again. 20 years later at a high school reunion. Hello, Tom. Leroy? Sounds ridiculous, but somehow I doubt it was all a lie, so that was kind of what happened with me and Claude. I have to say, it wasn't very aspiring to know your first love was stolen by an imaginary friend. You loved me? Dude, you like barely tolerated me. You're making fun of me, aren't you? If you were heartbroken, then what was I? Forgot that there. Orbiting like a planet around Claude and she still hasn't noticed you are a man. Oh, whoops. That's mean. So, what is Roland and Claude? What are they doing now? I haven't heard about those two since high school ended. They're not here, either. I don't know. They kept moving because people started getting suspicious for a while after they found out Roland couldn't age. But wherever they are, I have no doubt that they are together. Even those 10 years where Claude forgot Roland, they were never really apart. Speaking of which, congratulations on your marriage. Elisande is quite lovely, not to mention the young enough to be your daughter. You're just jealous because you're still single. Another 20 years pass. Oh no! Are they at my funeral? I hope I didn't die so quickly. Oh, there it is. Claude Blanche, I died. Oh, and he's still in color and no one else is. You know this was bound to happen, didn't you? Unlike you, Claude has to obey the laws of nature. As a human, she is bound to die. I must ask you, though, why didn't you ask me to turn her into something like yourself? It was Claude's wish to die a normal death. She didn't believe in eternal life. She said if she wanted it, she would have accepted your offer all those years ago. And as much as that pains me, I respect her wishes. I understand why Leroy is not here, seeing that he has been dead for almost 10 years, but why didn't you invite Tom? Claude didn't want him to know. She says that he had enough on his hands already, besides attending her funeral. Is that so? Then I'll skip through all the pleasantries and be blunt. If you didn't even invite Claude's closest friends, why did you go through all the hassle to get me over here? When the prince died, the marionette princess turned into flower petals over his dead body. Beautiful red roses. I would very much like the same fate. As for the price, you can take anything you want from me. Oh my gosh, my eyes. I'm actually crying. No. The witness of you and Claude's story is enough. Thank you for inviting me to view the end of this lovely fairy tale. I have enjoyed it very much. Oh no! Roland! Arnold! Oh my gosh, I'm so sad right now. I didn't even think I would be. The Rose Prince, Roland's ending. You guys! I guess we'll go in reverse. Go and do someone else now. One moment. Okay, so we did Roland. Tom, what's up? Tom, now that's an interesting development. Out of all the timelines I've seen, this had the least chance of happening. Just tell me where he is. Claude, what are you doing here? No time to explain, just let me in. Took his jacket off. Well? I learned everything from Mr. Jin, and you were a worthless piece of trash. Who do you think you are? What right do you have to decide what's best for me? Exactly. Like, you should have invented something to protect her from crazy paper man or, like, something else. Ridiculous. You are pathetic, and I can't stand you. Do me a favor and never show your ugly face in front of me again. That was really mean. That should be enough. As long as I made it seem like I hate Tom's guts, Roland should leave him alone. That's hilarious. How ironic. I only realize that I like Tom when it isn't possible for me to even be friends with him anymore without putting his life at risk. An admirable effort, but sadly not enough. What? Do you have... What? Do you have a rifle or a spear and you're using a lamp? Oh my gosh. My, I am touched by your display of self-sacrifice, Claude. I would have been fooled had my existence not been dependent on the feelings you had for me. Or you have for me. Or should I say had. I'm so sorry, Roland. Why, Claude? Why? Why did you fall in love with Tom? Because it doesn't matter, does it? I'll just have to destroy this obstacle separating us and we can be together again. Oh, he looks fast. Ooh, I have my knife! Oh my gosh, it came in handy. So, this is the way it is. You'd rather die for Tom than be with me. If that's the case, I'm so sorry, Claude. Be happy. And I love you forever. Bye, Roland. Don't cry, Claude. Huh? Why am I crying? I should be glad. Roland can never hurt you again. I should be laughing. I'll get you something to drink. After a while. This is heavy endings, man. Amarilo, can we have like a straight up happy ending? I am telling you. Cake. I just want cake. Well, I mean, we have 2 endings left, but I have a feeling neither of those is going to be awesome either. Do you feel better? It's getting late. You should sleep in the guest room. The bath is already prepared and the blue towel is unused. If you ever need me, I'll be in the opposite room. Good night. I love you. His face was perfect. I didn't know if I should, like, comment. Okay, I should have said it a long time ago, but I guess I've just gotten so used to your presence I haven't really thought about how I felt about you. Kind of like oxygen, you know? You only notice it when it's gone. I just wanted to let you know. Well, I should be heading home. Thank you for... Hugs! I love hugs! All of the hugs! Oh. That's nice. Tom and I are officially together now. It was really strange for me at first, as I had no idea how to act as a girlfriend. Do I call him honey instead of Tom? Do I have to kiss him every time I see him? What do I do when I kisses me? But soon it turned out my worries were not needed, as he seemed to be fine with just holding my hand from time to time with me turning red in the face. That's a really cute little drawing. Leroy wasn't too happy about it. He wouldn't talk to either me or Tom for the rest of the semester. According to Tom, he's suffering from a broken heart, whatever that means. Well, it should help his art. Mr. Jin visited me after school one day to say goodbye. Turns out, since I rejected him, he's now on the journey to find someone else as an apprentice. He also told me that since I rejected Leroy, the value of the portrait Leroy painted of me has increased significantly. Frankly speaking, dear, that will be the last portrait he paints in 20 years. 20 years? I try not to think too much about Roland, but every time I see a redhead, I can't help but think about the creature whose love for me is more tragic and deadly than a wilting poppy flower. As for me and Tom, several years later, I look so fancy! Congratulations, Tom! You finally got to tie the knot with Claude. About time, too. Liking one girl for 17 years. Can't even imagine. Congratulations, Claude. You finally snagged the great man that has been hovering around you since, like, forever. I seriously thought this never would happen. I found that apparently everyone has been aware of the feelings Tom had for me since 3rd grade. Can't say it inspires much confidence in me as his newly wedded wife. Aw, she looks happy, though. But even if I am incredibly slow, I know Tom would never fail to wait patiently for me. And if he's there, oh, cheek kisses! Everything will be just fine. Tom's ending. Okay, well that was cute. That was relatively happy. Let's check out some of the other ones really quickly. Alright, and now it's Leroy Jenkins. First, can you tell me where to find Leroy? I need to warn him about Roland. There's also something I want to tell him. I'll give you a warning. You're not a British. What am I doing? You might not be able to save Leroy entirely. Whatever happens, I'll have to face it eventually, don't I? The art room? Oh, colors. I still wish I could see colors, but that's fine. What was I thinking? Of course Claude is the same as all the other girls. I just happened to be stupid enough. Oh, poor Leroy. Leroy! Oh my gosh, look at Pounds, what are you doing? Oh no! I didn't mean it. What in the world are you talking about? Claude here's trying to save you. Uh-oh. I never saw his pants. From being killed by me? Ouch. Ugh, my hand. What did I ever do to you? Oh, not much. Besides stealing Claude from me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wish it didn't have to come to this, but due to a time paradox, Leroy can't die in this timeline. Sorry, Roland. What? What paradox? What are you talking about? More mysteries than ever. What is going on? A week later at the hospital. Thank you, Mr. Jin. Well, I got you past all the security and hysteric relatives. Aren't you going in? At Leroy's sickbed. Hi. I am sorry. Like being sorry can bring back the use of my hands. What? Your hands were injured? When are you leaving for France? Probably around next month. I would appreciate it if you didn't show up at the airport. The press might get hysterical, and I don't have the ability to do anything to stop them given my current condition. I won't. I promise. I like you. What? Nothing. Just talking to myself. I will go now. I promise. I will never. Did you just smooch me? Yes. When I deal with everything, I'll be back. And when I come back, I want to hear you say that sentence properly. Oh, that was annoying and cute all at the same time. Smiley faces. I'll be waiting. That's your ending? That's it? That's all you have to say to me? Really? I wanted to see a beautiful portrait. Curses! Okay, fine. Also, wait, why was I able to see his painting colors? Does anyone want to tell me? Tell me in the comments. I need to go do another one. Okay, so here we go. I might as well. I have nothing to lose anyways. I caused all this trouble, but I don't really want to go and keep watch on Roland for the rest of my life, worrying that every person he kills will be counted on my debt. The best way for it to end is for me not to have existed at all. Sure, why not? After a long, long time? And thank you for doing business with us. Hope to see you again in the not-so-distant future. Look at her cute little flippy dress. I don't know how many years have passed since I became Mr. Jin's apprentice, but since time doesn't apply to me, it doesn't really matter. Mr. Jin was right. The second I agreed to his proposal, it was like I never existed. When I went to my high school and sat down in one of my classes, the school almost called security. It is an odd sensation. I remember the distant way Tom looked at me in clear detail. Speaking of my past, Tom has gone on to be the doctor he always dreamed of. I sent him anonymous flowers when he graduated from med school. You're an awesome friend. Almost. Good job. He didn't marry for his whole life, but he did adopt 3 children and died peacefully on a park bench of old age. Going into retirement at a young age, Leroy had opened a small cafe in an obscure town. Surprisingly, he became an easygoing playboy who didn't marry until his late 30s. The girl he did marry was named Elisande. She was young, beautiful, and short-tempered. Together they had a daughter named Charlotte. Unfortunately, when Charlotte was 7, Leroy died in a car crash. He was 48 at the time. Am I supposed to know who Elisande is? Roland is gone forever, and there's no denying I killed him with my own bare hands. Not really. However, I refused Mr. Jin's offer to give me back my vision of color. I suppose it's my way of acknowledging Roland's existence. As for Mr. Jin, I discovered he does not own the shop and is actually running it for the 2 Lords of Desire as a result of a lost bet. He looks familiar, Mr. Top Hat, but I don't know if that's him. That he, like I, cannot really taste food anymore, but insists on eating noodles because it reminds him of home. That, and the reason he remains silly all the time, is to force some feelings into his otherwise meaningless life. Hi. I have grown on him over the past years. It's not exactly a romance since we never get touchy-feely or start singing sonnets for each other. We're both too old and jaded for that. But It's not pure friendship either, since Mr. Jin has crawled into my bed more than once now. Even though he didn't do anything besides hug me like a sleeping blanket. I was gonna say. Strange thing is, I don't really mind him hugging me like a child who takes to bed his favorite stuffed animal. I suppose things can get a little cold when time has forgotten you altogether. It is comforting to know that at least for now there is someone holding your hand as you wander this labyrinth of eternity. As he sleeps, I think about the things he has told me, the things he hasn't told me, the things he will never tell me, and the things he has left to impart me. And I think about the day when he finally gets his ultimate wish. Hi. What will happen to you when I become the new Lord of Time? I'll dissolve into nothingness, I suppose. Everyone I know has gone. I don't want you to go too. Flowers are only beautiful because they die, Claude. For that makes them, the time of their bloom, all the more precious. It's their death that gives their life meaning. It is not! Okay, but anyway, are you calling yourself a flower? What, am I not pretty enough? He is a goofball. One day, Claude, you'll be able to think of this day and remember me fondly. This itself should be the meaning of my existence to you. I will live on as long as you remember me, whether I am dead or alive. Enough of the somber talk. I am hungry and make me some noodles. Remember to put the whole sack of sugar and pepper in it. How many times do I have to tell you sugar isn't used to make noodles, and we just bought the pepper today? Yes, one day in a quiet summer when the air is warm, when the spring flowers have fallen, when I'm sitting all alone in a shop short of a certain silly grin, I will think of a man more transient and fickle than the flowers touching my face. I will think about all the journeys we have traveled together, all the laughter and misadventures concerning time, and the amounts of sugar one should consume. Oh no. No! And he will be there, smiling. Under the never-ending flowers, Mr. Jin's ending. What? Okay, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. My favorite ending... I don't know who my favorite ending was. I guess it would actually be Roland, because it was the most happened. I have feelings. Do you have feelings? I don't know. I don't know. I have many at this time. I'll show the credits in the meantime. Boop, boop, boop. Little doll. Why couldn't we touch the other stuff? I still don't fully understand everything, but I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable. I really didn't feel anything for Tom. I'm sorry. I know you were our childhood friend. That's cool, I just, Claude didn't seem into you, so I didn't really root for you most of the time. Leroy kind of rooted for you, almost. Whatever. And Mr. Jin, don't leave me, you big jerk face. Who was your favorite? What would you like to see in a perfect world of the endings? And, yeah, I hope you guys had a good time on this playthrough with me. The next Let's Play I'm going to do for a dating sim is going to be Dandelion Wishes, I think. So, and once in a while, like a Seduce Me bonus chapter or something. But I hope you have enjoyed this series. Let me know if there's another little dating sim you want me to play, since I kind of alternate dating sim with adventure. And have a wonderful day. Bye.